what is actually happening to TikTok, what happened to TikTok, and what can we expect in the next coming months. So TikTok got banned and is back already, so why am I even making this? Look, my intention for today is to talk about the Supreme Court ban, how it even happened, also talk about, how TikTok is able to survive, my theories on that, and the future of TikTok and what I think the future of TikTok is going to look like and what you could do as a creator or somebody that works in the internet to take advantage of this situation. And this is 100% my opinion. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ursus Magana. I work with creators and musicians and I help them make money on the internet. I have over a decade of experience. And hilariously, about TikTok, in 2023, in November, my company, we got the cover of Wired Magazine and they talked about me and my expertise on TikTok and basically how we are able to change people's lives through TikTok and social media. So, this is something I consider myself an expert on, and how to pivot your business when stuff like this happens is literally my day job because that's what I'm doing with my business today. So, how did this even happen? Well, I mean, you guys already know all the turmoil, throughout the couple years, back and forth between the government and TikTok. But how did this actual ban happen? Well, first of all, TikTok's not going to break the laws, so that's why they actually sunsetted. In my opinion, they sunsetted because the Supreme Court thing was upheld, and so they were at least gonna honor that to make a statement. There was actually no fair trial. The way that this got passed was it was combined through a humanitarian aid package that also basically included the ban. And some say, a lot of people are saying that there was a lot of lobbying and pressure from Meta for this to go through. Now, President Biden did say that he is not going to enforce the ban for 36 hours. However, what we saw already is TikTok did sunset themselves for a day. Now, another reason why a lot of people are pointing the finger at Meta is because a lot of Congress people, both Republican and Democrat, own a lot of Meta stock. And so obviously if, TikTok were to be sunsetted or banned or sold, it would definitely benefit the stockholders of Meta. If you're new to my channel, I try my best to not be political. Unfortunately, this here is very political. Whatever I say is truly just here to help you with your business so that you can make the right decision. I'm not here to fuel you any other way, Democrat or Republican. I'm just trying my best to state the facts so that we can make a decision together. Why I make these presentations is I want to help people, and also putting things on paper helps me truly understand something. And it's also a cool way for me to present to people that I work with. So this is something I was going to do anyway, and I hope that you can benefit from this. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's get political, I guess. Jesus Christ. So the U.S. basically wanted TikTok to sell or divest, right? And basically, ByteDance wasn't revealing the numbers. They weren't really being cooperative. They basically stuck to their guns and pushed the First Amendment narrative that it is unconstitutional, that the platform basically helps a lot of businesses. It also helps people express their First Amendment right. And so, without a fair trial and through the humanitarian aid package, they basically upheld the ban. Here are some of the ways that TikTok could come back. It will not be through an appeal of the humanitarian aid package. The Supreme Court has basically already stated that they believe that the harm that TikTok causes in the United States is more harm than the harm that it would be to ban the app. So whatever economic harm that banning the app causes, all these, small businesses lose some money. We got TikTok Shop, the Creator Fund, whatever. Their argument is that the national security risk that TikTok poses is actually more harm than banning the app. So they won't get TikTok back through an appeal through that humanitarian aid package. Basically, throughout the campaign, the president-elect has stated that they acknowledge that TikTok actually did help them with the election. The CEO of TikTok had met the president-elect in Mar-a-Lago in his home a couple of times. And now we know that when it got banned and when it came back, TikTok is basically pinning that they are back and they're going to continue to operate because Trump promised to work things out. Unfortunately for TikTok, what that does is it gives Trump hella leverage. Anyway, this is one way that the app can officially come back is if, Trump facilitates a sale or if there is some type of executive order that can be signed for them to delay the ban or give them an extension. But I don't believe that there's an executive order that he can sign to just completely unban it. I don't know of that. I think people would be talking about it in the mainstream news already if that was the possibility. My understanding is that you can't appeal to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has already stated their belief that it's more harm than good to keep it. And so I guess Trump would just have to convince the Supreme Court that it is actually very harmful to ban the app. I don't know how that works, but that's basically how one of the ways that it can get extended. There's another creative and interesting way that I found through my community. So I'm in a lot of the Native American algo and the Aztec algo. And when a law gets passed and that law affects Native Americans economically or physically or whatever, if all the tribes agree, they can make an argument to the United States, to the Supreme Court, and they can actually say that this affects them economically, this affects them because there's a lot of creators that are Native American that are making money on TikTok and social media. The reason why this might be kind of like a big dream is because according to some of the stuff that I researched, a lot of tribes aren't even aligned themselves on other basic things. So it has happened before in the United States where tribes get together and they present something to the United States when a law actually harms them, but to my understanding, this would be really difficult, but some people are attempting this to happen. I personally think that TikTok is actually not getting banned. A full ban is kind of impossible, in my opinion. I think, billionaires definitely hate their competition, but if there's anything that billionaires hate more is they hate not buying their competition or profiting from a disaster. And this is a disaster. I don't think that they're going to ban the app also because it sets like a crazy precedent for other Chinese companies like platforms like Tencent, right? Shein, Temu. You can make the argument that Shein and Temu have actually more data on people in the United States. TikTok only has 1 year TikTok shop data, and Temu, you buy all kinds of products on Temu. It's kind of like it's basically an Amazon. Shein, you're talking about people's clothing sizes, you're talking about their addresses. I mean, again, I don't think a full ban is gonna happen because it sets an insane precedent for other Chinese companies. Tencent is a huge gaming empire. It holds titles like Fortnite, Riot Games. So, I mean, bro, could you imagine the protests in the street if they ban Fortnite? If they ban, well, probably not Valorant and League of Legends. Those people will stay indoors. But if they ban Fortnite, it's kind of wraps, dude. Those are all the bro gamers. Like that's literally Fortnite. I mean, there would be riots in the street if they banned Fortnite, right? So Epic Games, right? And then, does that stop the government there? Are they coming for companies that are based in China that operate in the United States, or are they also coming for companies that have a big Chinese stake, right? So Spotify, for example, it is not based in China, like by dance. It's not that, but it is a company that harnesses a ton of data from the United States. They flex their data capabilities with their Spotify Wrap. That is a ton of data, right? And a large percentage of the stake in Spotify is actually owned by China. So I don't think a full ban is possible. I think that there are many things that are going to happen to TikTok, and that's kind of what this presentation is about. So what's actually going to happen to TikTok? Well, what already happened is they sunset it for a day, probably to make a statement and to pin it all on Trump and to basically take their bet if they make the president elect look good, or by naming him in their process, maybe putting light pressure. Maybe the president elect sees it as, who the fuck knows how the president elect sees it. This gives the president elect a ton of leverage. But what is actually going to happen to TikTok? Well, TikTok is actually banned in mainland China. So TikTok does not operate in China. So what I think is actually going to happen to TikTok is I think the TikTok that we know is basically gone forever. In China, they have this thing called Douyin, which is basically like a government approved version of TikTok. TikTok is from China, but you're only able to see it internationally. So what I think is going to happen with TikTok is I think that that's what's going to happen here in the United States. Basically, the extension is going to be enough time for the administration to find a buyer that's more aligned with their beliefs, in my opinion. And that so here, as you can see, I wrote that it'll be temporarily shut down and it'll be sold once it's restructured. I'll be honest, I did not think that it was going to be gone for a day, sunsetted for a day, and come back. I thought it was going to be like at least a couple months. So I'm very surprised that it came back. And that's why I keep saying that they probably did that to pin it on the president elect to basically softly pressure the president-elect to actually take action. I think that that's why they did that. But as a result, it gives them more leverage in negotiation. So that's what I thought. What I know is going to happen is they're definitely going to change TikTok forever. The days of us, watching TikTok and having access to holistic health stuff and uncensored discussions about, I don't know, Dior bags or, fires or news in real time, local news that matters to you in real time, things that are not popular or are not popular algorithms in the other apps like Meta or X, like maybe talking about watermelons, right? So I think that the app as we know it is gone forever. Obviously not right now, because I don't think it could change that fast in one day of it being sunsetted and coming right back. But do I think that they're going to have an extension and then they're going to, really change things? I do think that that's going to happen. I don't know if TikTok's going to just stay the same, call it TikTok, but we're basically going to have the Douyin version of TikTok in the United States this year. And that's what I truly believe. If TikTok goes away, for a few months while they do this, redesign or restructure of TikTok, or let's say that, for whatever reason, the president-elect does not have enough power to convince the Supreme Court, for whatever reason, out of his 100 executive orders, this that he's going to do in the first couple months of coming in, according to him. Let's say that he just kind of forgets about it and TikTok actually has to go away for a little bit. I want you to operate as if it really is gone, because it's gone. TikTok, at least as we know it, is gone. So one of the things that I saw people take advantage of right before TikTok went away is people did like this goodbye TikTok video where they're talking directly to their followers and they're basically telling them like a little bit about their story and where they could find them. Another trend that's going crazy was, now that TikTok's going away, I'm going to admit, something crazy. I'm going to reveal something crazy about myself. Obviously, even if TikTok were to go away, those creators know that millions of people are going to see it. It's just to catch the scarcity and the moment that this might go away, right? Also, I've seen people jump from literally like 30K to 120K, 150K just by doing some of these video trends. So I would basically treat TikTok going away like making content on TikTok is like making content as a message in a bottle. What is the message that you want to leave? What is the vibe that you want to leave? Or make a statement of like, yo, TikTok is going away, so I'm going to launch my YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, and there's a difference between my TikTok and my Instagram. Explained like where you're going to take people's attention and give them more of you. So move them to other platforms. Some platforms that are definitely going to benefit from this, especially once TikTok becomes Douyin and it becomes very different. Some platforms that are going to benefit from this when TikTok becomes very different is definitely going to be Snapchat. Snapchat is more private. Snapchat is almost like you're texting your friends. It now has a similar algorithm to TikTok through Spotlight. It also never really fucked with anybody, man. Like Snapchat also never sold to one of the big ones, right? So, people that have an independent spirit or people that may be politically frustrated with the way that things turned out with X, or with the way that things might turn out with Meta this year, or with the way that things might turn out with TikTok, I think that a lot of those people are going to hide in Snapchat. So if you're not already on Snapchat as a creator, as a musician, definitely do it. There are people that are making some good money on Snapchat. It's real. For music, it is really, really worth being on Snapchat. It's a lot harder to trend on Snapchat as a musician, but when you do trend, there's not a lot of competition because there's not a lot of musicians there. So it's there, and they never really sold to anybody, right? So give it a shot. I'm thinking of launching a Instagram Reels page. I'm calling it Ursus Daily, where I'm gonna basically just post my daily stuff that I would post on TikTok. On TikTok, I posted goofy stuff. I posted relatable content. I posted stuff that isn't necessarily super official, like stuff like this, right? Or stuff that's helpful. It was just, to show off personality, right? So Ursus Daily. If I actually do end up making that, look out for that. And then I'm just gonna keep posting stuff here on YouTube, right? TikTok going away, or them taking away TikTok from you and then bringing it back. Either way, this should be a reality check for you to remember that all of these things that are free and they can be taken away from you at any moment. You live in a lifetime where you can make a video in your room and you can probably talk to 100,000, probably talk to 1,000,000 people, depending on how it goes with the algorithm. And IG Reels does not do that. They're not designed for that. Facebook Does not do that. Twitter, I mean, X, only if Elon or somebody that is massive on X, only if they retweet you, will that happen. But the algorithm that is TikTok, you will never, ever have that opportunity again. YouTube is doing a better job at discovery, especially with long form videos. But even then, like you're only really getting served shorts from really high quality content or established faces that YouTube actually recognizes. You're being served people that YouTube trusts through YouTube Shorts because they're going to be monetizing even more. You will never have this opportunity again. So while you have these months of TikTok changing, full send it. Don't wait. Use this as a reality check. And then the next time in your lifetime, when a platform comes about where people are getting success, it might be a decentralized platform through crypto. It might be a crypto social media. And the next time that you see people getting this much virality, do not wait. Full send it. Full send it for your brand. Full send it for your band. Full send it for yourself. Just do it. If you are not already a millionaire, if you are already not a millionaire and you're watching this video, you need a platform where you can speak. You're in the United States, and if you're not designing rockets that can catch rockets, sorry man, you're not smart enough. You need to be a marketer. And so by you having enough of a platform where you can share your ideas concisely or authentically, that's how you're going to secure your career. Whether it's you being the head of a company or whether it's you consulting other companies, this is the only option. So take it. The next time that there's a platform that can take your voice and megaphone it into the world, full send it. All right. Removing our feelings. So is there any good from this? Like, this sounds terrible. Like, yo, it's so crazy because China, not even China has TikTok. So we're becoming a lot like China. And again, I'm trying my best. Oh my God. Let me take that back. I'm trying my best to not be political, bro. Fuck. So look, the fuck? I'm not telling you where I'm at. All right. So did I make a red note or red book account? Yes, I did. Did I do it in protest? Yes. Am I a supporter of the CCP? Absolutely not. Did I do it to make a statement so that, whoever could come back and make an argument to the Supreme Court that, yo, if we don't actually solve the TikTok issue, these people are going to go sign up to actual Chinese platforms that are managed by the CCP in protest? Did I do that? Yes. But China doesn't even allow TikTok to operate, bro. So yeah, man, TikTok is done. TikTok is done as we know it. But removing my feelings, is there any good from the situation? Is there any good from people stomping on our First Amendment rights? It hurts to say that there is. There is. So, in my opinion, this is probably the only way. And I don't know if it's the first time that we've tried to combat Chinese tech piracy. I don't know if it's the first time, but all I know is China basically restricts access and bans a ton of US tech companies and then basically rips them and makes them their own. And if they can't do that, they try to own a majority stake of it, like Spotify, for example, right? And I'm not saying that China has the majority stake, but I'm saying that they try to get at least a huge piece of the pie in order for you to operate in their country. But I mean, there are several cases where basically China allegedly participates in corporate espionage and they basically rip a ton of technology. That's basically what they do. They did that to Tesla. They do that to Apple. They've done that to Google. They've done that to Meta. Meta did essentially try to. Fuck, man. That's why people connect the dots. Oh, look. Meta tried to become a thing in China. China didn't let them. And if bro is basically out here lobbying against TikTok because of that makes a lot of sense. Allegedly, I don't know. Damn. But look, China rips everything, especially with tech companies. They don't let them operate in their country. It's really hard to compete in there because they make the Chinese version of it. And so what happens is a lot of U.S. companies lose a lot of market share in China because they basically make their own. They make their own alternative. So this is in a way kind of like the first time we're doing something similar to what they do to us. They don't let YouTube operate there. They don't let Facebook operate. They don't like it's basically what they do. So it's kind of like our first time ever doing that to them, in my opinion. I don't know if it's the first time ever, but I don't know of anything this big where it's like headlines and even young people are aware, right? So yeah, this this could be the good that comes from it. if you're looking at a silver line. This is my message to the tech CEOs. And I know that some people don't like Mark because of his rebrand and everything. I was a big Mark Zuckerberg dick rider my whole life, way before his rebrand. I actually preferred him nerdy. I thought of him as a huge inspiration. He changed my life. He basically got me completely out of the hood. I paused my dreams of being a musician for me to master social media and, master Facebook and YouTube and dive into this industry. I paused my entire life for that. And he's absolutely changed my life. The distribution of wealth that has been created through the founding of Facebook and the way that social media works and Instagram and all that stuff, like the way that he's changed my life and the way that he's changed the lives for a ton of people that I know is unmeasurable. And so I've always been a Mark Zuckerberg dick rider. Lately it's been tough to be a fan, but in the macro he has done more for the world, in my opinion, than harm. And so I know that there's some good in you, Mark, and I know that it's delusional to talk here as if you're going to see this, but I think that you and the tech CEOs have a really good opportunity here to be heroes and stand up for TikTok. I know that a lot of people are pointing their finger at you and you're lobbying and maybe you do have a grudge against TikTok, but you have an opportunity to be a hero because check it out, man. There's a story about Sejanus, who was this dude that was a powerful advisor to a Roman emperor. And this dude was basically just out here getting everybody like the witch trials, right? So he was just this dude that orchestrated all kinds of, hits on his political rivals, and he would accuse them of treason and get them convicted and executed. And eventually, the emperor grew suspicious of Sejanus and had him arrested and executed in the same manner that he used against others. And so basically what I'm trying to say, man, is I understand that you maybe want to crush the competition, but in this case, you're crushing someone in your industry, man, if it's you. And dude, you could really stand up for TikTok, and a lot of people in your position could really stand up for TikTok and maybe offer to manage the servers, maybe manage the servers or do something so that TikTok could remain. Because if you guys all get behind this ban, then what's going to stop the government 10 years from now from banning you and from divesting you and removing you as a CEO and changing what you built forever? So you could really set an example while you're still the operating CEO and a founder, so that, whoever is in your position next, they can also defend other platforms. TikTok is very different from Meta. I know that, but that's the thing about competition. Like, Amazon lost a lot of market share to the TikTok shop. You guys lost a lot of traffic to TikTok. Yes, 100%, bro. But you could continue to be a hero, just like you've been a hero in my life for a very long time. So yeah, if you know anybody that works high up in Facebook, I know I have a lot of Facebook friends. I have a lot of people that work in Meta, a lot of people that work in all these platforms. Do you have anybody high up that you could send this to so that this could delusionally get to bro? I really appreciate that. But look out, man. Don't go out here, getting people executed, because you might be the next in the guillotine. Because you don't know who's going to run the government. Right now, you might feel like you're on the good side of the president elect, but bro, you're really going to depend on being on the good side of the next president? You're going to depend on that? Come on, bro. All right. So if you're stuck this far, I really appreciate you. I make these videos to help you, and I make them for my current business partners, for my current clients, so they can get a sense of my mind and the way that it works. I also make this for my future clients, and I make this for the people that I'm going to work with in the future so they can get to know me. If you want a copy of this presentation, please just let me know. Subscribe to my Telegram and my Instagram, and as long as you're subscribed to this channel and the Telegram, DM me on Instagram, and I will send you a PDF link to this presentation. And announcements. Some of my artists are going on shows. They're going to have shows this year, so that's really exciting. So if you are able to come to those shows, please pop out. We're making clothing. This is going to be coming out soon. It's, official 25/7 merch. This one is traded my 9 to 5 for my 25/7. If you're new to the channel, my company is 25/7 Media and 25/7 Records and Digicult. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what you guys are going to be doing. Take this as the bat signal to just post authentically no matter what. If you get a copy of this presentation, here's some cool sources, like the difference between the Douyin app and the TikTok. And what's the difference? I also have some examples of when China basically ripped a bunch of US companies like Tesla, Apple, Google, Microsoft et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't know why the fuck China would want to rip Boeing because all these fucking planes are falling apart, but yeah. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you later. Peace.